Yeah, well, I'm part of the Brilliant movement. I have been for a long time, but I got really, really sick and disengaged for a couple of years. And when I came on, the first person who said, "Hey, let's talk," was Sally. And I'm going, "What are you trying to sell me?"
I'd forgotten that.
Pretty much jumped into practically everything Sally does now. I joined her Brilliant Circle, which is a small group. We talk about Graham's and Dionne's and Teresa's and everyone's is such a become a big movement. Brilliant. Then I just started integrating into her alignment coaching, and then finally, when I got healed, big
Yeah.
story, yay. Um, God just started downloading so many business ideas. I I don't want to say I am. I fight being a workaholic.
Mm.
So when God gives me ideas, I've been trying to work on them, and they're just downloading so fast that it's becoming um, it was becoming quite overwhelming. And then being with life and leaders
Mhm.
is really helping me to just see how everyone else sort of runs their business, and we all support each other, and we ask questions. How do you do this?
Mhm.
What would you do in this situation and stuff like that. So yeah, just told you I'm fighting workaholism, and he's going, Kerri, you are going to be a leader in rest. I had known a lot about that already, having been sick, and I believe the resting and abiding in Him was a massive progress for me. And you are given an assignment, you are given the opportunity to practice, and so by the time conference comes up, I'll be really rested.
I remember meeting this lady who was very defensive, who was like, "What do you want from me?" And you have been a workaholic. Like that was your identity, was in your work, it was in what you did, it was who you were. And that was you had been physically sick for a number of years that had taken you completely out of work. You couldn't do, you were very limited in what you were doing. However, you were looking. The fact that you were part of Brilliant, the fact that you actually had a conversation with me and you didn't put the phone down. Like you were looking. You were like, oh, like, okay, this woman's a bit full on, but you were looking. You were looking for something different. You were looking for something more. You were like, okay, everything I've done in my strength has got me to here, and this is not where I want to be. And when I had that first conversation with Kerri, I remember just this woman's incredible
Mm.
heart for people, heart for love, heart to live life to the full. It,
I have found that the more I can rest and align with God, the more productive I can be during the day. Resting doesn't mean sitting on this couch. Like people think, oh, I'm too busy to rest. It's like, you can rest while you're being active. You can rest while you are doing. You start your day off abiding, resting, sitting in your secret place. You then bring that with you. You bring that with you into the day. And you'll be surprised. You'll have some difficult things that come to you during the day, and the Holy Spirit will just go, here's your answer. you know
Mhm.
you, you might end up being the one that in your workplace that everyone comes to for answers, because suddenly you've left trying to just be knowledge and knowing for yourself, but you've become aligned with God, and you are running with the Holy Spirit in every decision you make. Yeah, I'm a locksmith,
Yeah.
and Yeah, I'm not locksmithing right now. When I came out of sickness and God started giving me ideas of my future, that wasn't even there.
Mm.
My assignment has changed, my plan has changed, and because God has been going, oh, I see you doing this. You know, I get a lot of prophetic words and dreams, and this is where some of the paintings have come from. And that was going to be a hobby, but suddenly, people wanted them. And it's all about expanding the kingdom.
Hmm.
That's our purpose in life, is to expand the kingdom, to have a relationship with God and expand the kingdom. So there you go. Love God, love others.
You may not be doing that locksmithing in the physical, but I think you are unlocking things in other people, which is so cool, right? Like, and you have these
Yeah.
keys to rest. Your art, like, I feel like I can just see it right now, like that will actually bring rest to people who have it in their homes. Like, there's an unlocking gifting that you have.
Yeah, each piece has prophetic words on them. I spent 10 years on my knees going, Lord, I just want to hear you like everyone else is in my church. Why can't I hear you? And I was a workaholic in my prayer life. I was an intercessor.
Wow.
I would walk the town and walk around the church 7 times, walk around our charity 7 times, walk around my house 7 times, and I would be praying and praying, and some of that was, why can't I hear you? And it wasn't until I stopped praying did I hear him, because there has to be a rest in your prayer life too. You got to
Mm.
be able to hear him, and you can't if you're doing all the talking. I learned to just find that secret place, and that's where my freedom was. Because in that place, even though I was sick at the time, I started having adventures with God that were just crazy, because I was able to just sit and rest. There was one morning I got up and I said, okay, I've got this to watch. He goes, no, just sit with me. I said, okay. Um, shall we talk about what I'm doing today? No, just sit with me. So there was a real freedom in even the relationship I had with God. Once we learnt the freedom of being together, that the relationship we have abiding, and he then was able to take it into the areas of my work, because that was before he started downloading all these ideas. He wanted me to have that alignment with him, the freedom of not having to come up with ideas myself. Because God's thoughts, God's dreams are higher than yours.
Yeah. Hmm.
That cross just hit me, because our alignment with God. And when you have that straight, you've got the south and the north completely true. That's when you can have your east and west completely true. And that is your relationships with others.